Hello everyone, Shiler here. Just a quick disclaimer that this is a shorter episode due to time constraints and not allowing enough time to record due to scheduling conflicts. So hopefully you enjoy, and apologize for this shorter episode, but we will get a longer episode next time because we're reviewing a huge book. So thanks everyone for tuning in and enjoy the episode. Hello everyone, welcome back to Roleplay Central, the official podcast for Metagames Press. It's another late one for us tonight, but that's okay. We're going to be talking about a couple of things today. Firstly, the Spectral Guardian subclass that we released quite a while ago.
Yeah, I think last year.
Yeah, it's probably when we were first starting up Metagames Press. And then we are also going to talk about the new D&D adventure for... What is it, 11th to 20th level?
Yeah, 11th to 20th level.
Yeah.
It was released on DM's Guild.
Yeah, the Chains of Asmodeus.
At the end of October.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to... Sorry. And take top.
All right. So, to start off with the Spectral Guardian,
okay.
Beginning at 3rd level, you can channel the spirit of a wild animal into a weapon and empower your strikes. And then below is a list of options to choose from. And the effects of it that it offers when you hit with an attack on a melee with a melee weapon. Mm-hmm. There we go. And then it's applied before the damage from the attack is done, and then you can only choose one spirit at a time once per turn. Mm. Here's the options. You have Serpent, Beast, Avian, Fae, and Aberration. So the Snake, a snake-like spirit imbues your weapon, add +1 to the damage, then the creature makes a Constitution saving throw equal to 8 plus the Wisdom modifier plus Proficiency mod. And on a failed save, the creature is poisoned until your next turn. So that's Serpent. For Beast, it's a bear-like spirit that imbues your weapon, add +3 to the damage, and an additional 1d4 slashing damage.
Hold on. What was the DC that was written out for the first one?
8 plus Wisdom modifier plus Proficiency modifier.
Okay, we're good. I misread. I misheard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Avian is a vulture-like spirit that imbues your weapon and add +2 to the damage, and then you gain an additional 10 feet of movement speed on the turn. And then Fae, a fairy-like spirit, and you add +1 to the damage, and you have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects until your next turn. And then the Aberration, which is the big one. It's a beholder-like spirit that imbues your weapon, and you can add +1 to the damage. Then the creature must succeed a grapple check against your strength or athletics score, or you become grappled. The creature can attempt this check again, but must use an action to do so. In addition to this, when moving with a grappled creature, your speed is not affected. So it's not treated like difficult terrain or nothing. But I know that's a lot of info for the first ability, but the general idea for this was to go off of the champion Udyr from League of Legends, heavily inspired by him. Just having different sort of animal spirits to work with. And then
this is a fighter subclass, right?
Yeah, fighter subclass. I don't know if I mentioned that at the top.
I don't think you did.
I don't think I did. But yeah, fighter subclass. Mm-hmm. And then at 7th level, a bit of a smaller ability. When you reach 7th level, the spirits of the wild begin to watch over you. Twice per day, when you're hit by a magical attack or dealt damage by a magical effect, you can halve the damage on that attack. Mm-hmm. And then advanced channeling at 10th level is just adding on to the wild spirit options. I'll just read the different options. For Serpent, you change the poison condition to petrified. For Beast, the strikes wound the creature. The creature takes an additional 1d6 necrotic damage at the start of each of its turns. The creature may use an attack or may use an action to stop the bleeding and remove the wounding effect. Avian, within the next minute, you can teleport into melee range of the last creature you hit with a melee attack. Mm-hmm. Fae, you can cast Fairy Fire, and if you're targeted by a magic spell or effect, you get a +1 to your AC until the next turn. Till your next turn. And then Aberration, if you're grappling a creature, half the damage you take is dealt to the grappled creature until your next turn. And you also emit a anti-magic field around you with a radius of 5 feet. And that's at 10th level. So it's a lot of info, and go back
I think we could clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
I think you should change the teleporting thing.
I forgot which ability that was.
The avian wild spirit edition, the advanced.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you add on to the already
Is it
powerful
teleport?
movement. The avian's more about movement specifically.
I think it should just give you an additional 30 movement or something.
More movement.
Yeah, the base version already
Instead
gives
of
you an additional 10 feet of movement
Uh-huh.
speed on the turn that you use your action to choose that wild spirit.
I think it should just give you an additional 30. Just so that if you... Because being able to teleport to the last creature you hit seems kind of counterintuitive because you're a fighter.
It would make sense for like a rogue who wants to maybe
Disengage and stuff like
hit
that.
him.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
guess
then come back
the
at 'em.
only way that I could see that
Right, it would work
being
as a
good is
for
if it was
something
like a
like that,
ranged
but-
attack, which,
Mm.
okay, at that point, I could see that. Because then you could huck a spear and then hit them, and then you just teleport to them and just smack them again with your second attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I could see that. But the 30 movement would give you the option to run
A lot more.
to a different another person or
Yeah, what about
something if
just
you're
like,
already in.
since it's avian, why not just gain a fly speed?
I don't think fly speed would. I don't know. I think fly speed might be a little too much. Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean,
Because
I
if
guess you could.
Because you can flavor the movement
give
as
a
you
little-
have a.
I do
you
think
have a
movement
30-foot
makes
fly
more
speed this turn.
Yeah, I do think movement makes more sense than teleport. But I mean, I think you could go fly or move.
Maybe you give the option.
Well, I mean, with the
You
option,
either
people are
gain
pretty
30
much always gonna do fly.
feet. Or,
Yeah.
Or maybe you do 20 fly feet and 40 movement or 40
Yeah, I don't know.
movement. Yeah.
We'd have to figure out the breakdown, but
Or something.
this
so that
was written
there's
a couple
little
years
bit of
ago,
a
so
drawback, but
or a year ago.
Huge.
It's probably more than a year ago. It's probably
Yeah.
2 years.
It
But
was a while when you did it.
But yeah, it was a long time ago when this was written. So early in the our content days.
We
So-
still need playtesters.
Yes, and this is on our playtest application. If you go to the website, you can apply to become a playtester, and this is on that list.
Yep.
But
But
there's
I think
2
you
more
should change the
abilities.
teleport thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. If you don't want to, it's up to you.
Well, I think we could go through.
You know.
Yeah.
It is crazy. We've already mentioned a whole lot of information already, but we still have 2 more abilities to go
Yeah.
through. And these aren't super long. But the next one is Wild Adaptation. At 15th level, you have learned to adapt to the wild environment. You gain resistance to 2 damage types of your choice.
So was there not a buff to like the Beholder?
That is the
or
aberration.
Fae? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, in the Fae, you get the ability to cast Fairy Fire, and if you're targeted by a magic spell or effect, you get 1 to your AC. Plus 1.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Until your next turn.
Sorry. I must have just.
Yeah, and then you get damage resistances on top of having a overwhelming amount of choices to work with.
Yeah.
And then you have your 18th level ability, Spirit Surge. You can choose to ignore the Channel Wild Spirit ability during a melee attack. The Wild Spirits then join together to empower your strike, and that attack is treated as a critical hit instead. And you may use this ability 3 times before you must finish a long rest.
So basically, channel.
You can
critical
choose
strike.
when you crit, basically.
That's good for 18, I think.
Yeah. For 18.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You basically you give yourself 3 free crits whenever you want.
Yeah.
At 18.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but by the time the wizard's a god, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, by then
So
that's...
you better have something. Some extra.
But yeah, overall, it sounds like it does need some clearing up.
It's so
Sound
funny
like
to
a
me
boss.
when people complain about high level martial abilities, right, being overpowered,
Mhm.
and then you just turn to any spellcaster and they're just gods. Like the warlock's causing an apocalypse to a local village. Like the wizard's the high king.
Some guy just goes and like insta kills a guy, and another bystander's like, "You're too powerful." Then you point over here, this guy's just flying in the air, throwing fireballs down at everything.
Literally one meteor swarm is an apocalyptic level event to a small town. Right.
Yeah.
It's like.
All right. Well, that is
and the druids
Guardian.
just living as a dragon for now. Like they true polymorphed. They kept concentration for an hour, so they're just a dragon now.
You know how funny that would be to be a chaotic druid and just go around and polymorph people and then just follow them throughout town? Polymorph somebody into a goat.
I didn't like the price you gave me on that potion. Polymorph.
Yeah, I mean, true polymorph's even worse though. Like you could turn people into items, and then you just hold concentration for an hour, and then they're permanently that.
Yeah.
Somebody does something wrong to you, they're a sword now. Right? Or they're a pet rock.
You see this? This was once a man.
That reminds me of this guy who did it.
Yeah, jeez.
Who figured out that you can actually do like an infinite clone type thing with polymorph.
Oh, you had with polymorph? I didn't know it was polymorph. Really? How does that work?
I don't remember all the specifics, but
I know you can do it with like simulacrum.
But you basically make a clone of yourself, and then you polymorph that clone, and then because of the way that the spells are written, as long as you wait the hour, that clone becomes permanent.
Oh, really?
I've
never.
And then can it like?
And then it can do that again, and then again, and again.
It's progenitor mimic.
It's just infinite. And it's just. I don't remember all the specifics, but it's this guy. Yeah, I watched him on YouTube or on TikTok all the time, and he'd just find out all these like broken things that you could technically do that weren't against the rules because of the way everything was written. And he's like, "Yeah, no, you can technically do this."
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff, especially at high level. Like that's why I say they're gods, because they literally are, right?
Yeah.
And he's like,
if you're the right druid,
Because
it's like druid circle, then you're just changing into things every single
become-
second.
Yeah, you become untouchable
Yeah.
at high levels. It's like that's why DMs have to throw gods and stuff at high level characters.
And even still, they die. Well, what do you guys think of that subclass, the Spectral Guardian?
Yes, good.
Needs some work,
like,
probably. Needs some clearing up.
Not too much. Just like some we can
Condense
condense it.
Yeah.
I think we can condense it, and
maybe you could, well, with that teleporting thing, you could just give that as an option. You can teleport, or
you could,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to revisit it at some point and release an update on this. But now, let's get to the main meat of the episode, which is the Chains of Asmodeus adventure. First of all, I'm super glad that it's an epic level adventure, because it's not a common thing to have from wizards to have those things.
they don't typically ride them, except for the dragon one that you mentioned last time. I forgot what it's called. Tyranny of Dragons or something like that. And Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I think, goes high level.
Yeah, and also, like, if you're going off of DM's Guild and looking for, like, level 20, for instance.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's Horde of Dragons.
Horde of Dragons and Rise of Tiamat.
Rise of Tiamat.
Yeah, Tyranny of Dragons is the name of they did, like, a combination of both of them.
Yeah, these are... Oh, well, this one doesn't even go up to 20.
Oh, it doesn't? What does it go
15.
up to? Yeah, this one's 11 to 20. And basically...
This one goes 1 to 7. And then this one goes 8 to 15.
Oh, really? That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it like...
But, like, also you can continue directly from Descent to Avernus into this book, and you can go from level 1 to 20. And it's perfectly just fine. And they even give you, in the book, not to spoil too much of it, but they give you ways to implement how your characters would have, or your party's characters, your party's characters would have gone into this whole setup.
Yeah. And they, so what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. What were you saying? No, I forgot what I was going to say. I'll bring it up in a second.
Well, I mean, I want to go through, I have this picture just to say what's in it, just off of the surface thing, because I took a picture of it on DM's Guild. So it says there is 50 high challenge monsters, 50 plus.
Including the 9 archdevils.
Yeah, and the Asmodeus is just insane, dude. There's stat blocks for Asmodeus, Lord of the Nines.
Yeah, you go through an adventure through hell.
It's the 9 layers.
Yeah, you go through every layer from top down, which is really cool.
Yeah. The stat blocks for Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine, and all the major archdevils, like we said. There's 20 plus infernal magic items.
Ooh, sorry, I want to cut in just for a second.
Yeah.
You know Dante's Inferno, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
You should make that into a fighter or a paladin subclass.
Yeah, we could do that.
Turn him into a figure something.
Like a hell-based fighter or something like that.
Or a paladin.
Or a paladin, yeah.
Because it could go both ways, I think. Sorry.
I like the paladin idea. Actually, that reminds me of some art that we have on Night Cafe that I think I wanted to make it. Paladin's art. Like a paladin card. It's like a some sort of like dragon paladin. Hellfire dragon. I don't know. But in addition to those
what were you saying?
In addition to those magic items, there's also a item corruption mechanic. And then the details.
Yeah, there are several corruption mechanics, which are really cool. They give you mechanics for all that, which is really nice. And there's a lot of thematic, like, corruption that goes on via like what sins are particularly affecting your characters, right? Like, and it heavily like emphasizes sin because like it's hell.
Yeah.
Right. So like the whole adventure. Right, the DM is given tools in the adventure to like tempt the players. The DM's given like temptations that they can tempt the players with, right, and then they can corrupt them from there.
That's one thing I have down.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
It's so cool. You have that how deep it goes. The DM can tempt you, and
I could say just throw in a bunch of cursed weapons.
Yeah, and some of them are cursed items. Some of them
it's
are
a world
fit
items. For John.
It's just a bunch of cursed weapons.
There are a lot of cursed items in there.
Hey, it could be that one item that I created.
One thing I really like about this is reading through it and seeing everything. For the most part, maps and handouts are everywhere.
Yeah.
And then there's also encounter tables everywhere and shop inventory with pricing. Yeah. It's like all perfect.
And they're yeah. I keep losing it.
Another thing I have is the Tarrasque for me has been dethroned as the best monster to throw at a party when you just need a big thing. It's now Asmodeus.
Yeah.
Forget the Tarrasque; it doesn't exist anymore.
Well, and the Tarrasque is sort of basic, the one in the book. Anyways.
Yeah, it's become basic.
It's just a big monster that smashes and bites.
Yeah, I'm sure a handful of you that are watching this are able to think of many monsters that you could throw that are better than the Tarrasque.
I feel like we should do an off spin of Tarrasques.
Yeah.
Like elemental Tarrasque. Just make it worse. It's the Tarrasque, but it's worse.
Except now it's on fire.
Yeah, I really like how it is at the beginning, where it gives you hooks. It gives you hooks for the characters. It gives you all three of the patrons for the party, right? Mm-hmm. All of them have motivations, and they all want stuff from the Nine Hells. So you have to collect their stuff while you're trying to find the phylacteries of your friends' souls, right? So like you're searching for your friends' souls, and you're searching for their items, right? So you're like in, it really involves all the characters in it.
Yeah, it gets a lot of immersion, really, really quickly and easily. That's one thing.
Yeah, it gives you detailed ideas of like what these people did, what these people might have done to land in hell, to get their souls trapped in hell. Like it gives you detailed things, and then if you don't like that idea at all, it gives you an option to use the party instead, and the party are actually they've been resurrected basically to go to hell and retrieve their own souls. Mm-hmm. Right, so that's an option too, and then it gives you detailed backstory options based on that. So you have a whole section in there with like a
and then even if you flip it on its head and your party's decided to go for an evil campaign, this still fits. Like you can still venture through the layers of hell, and you're still
I mean, you could use this book just to
campaign.
You could use this book just to run an adventure in hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just as good of a setting book as it is an adventure.
Yeah. And one thing I'm super happy about, and I have in all caps in my notes, is that there's art for all of the Lords of the Nine Hells. Finally get to see them all in their...
They better all be uglies.
Their best form. Beelzebub and all that is just so cool.
Beelzebub, I think is what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you end up fighting all the
I think is how it is,
well in this?
Well, in the sense that you're tempted, right, by the sins, and then there are. I think there are lesser devils that you can fight that are based on the sins. Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly if the sins are statted out, but
I feel like I don't remember.
I would create like
add that as like a mini boss. Almost.
As mini bosses in there.
And maybe you get like an item or something like that. So each level has a specific sin associated with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is something you could use Matt Mercer's corruption rules for. He has corruption rules on DM's Guild.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of substance in the adventure, a lot of things to go for.
No, I was really impressed.
I have written down everything from combat to simple lines of dialogue, and also consequences for choices that are made, and they're also outlined. Yeah,
and the only thing that I would say that I didn't really like is like at the beginning, especially, not necessarily all the way through, but at the beginning there's some just massive like blocks of text blocks of text that the DM's supposed to read, right? Yeah. Like at the very beginning, like probably
Sit down, friends. We're gonna have story time.
Yeah, the first session the DM's reading a lot, right? But after that it clears up. Right, it's more of just a D&D adventure. Yeah. But after the first session, because there's a lot of info they got to dump on you. So it's like,
even though there's a lot of info and everything, it's still like it's very much like a location to location thing where you still have clear and easy progression. No member of the party is going to be confused of where they're going, what they're doing. It's all.
Well, you're all bought in, like your friends' souls are in hell, or your soul's in hell. right? It's like it's an actual motivation, right? Unlike the complaint that I had about the Planescape adventure, right? You wake up with amnesia, so what?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, so what? Right? It's like, how am I supposed to care about what happened to my character before they had amnesia when I just built them?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But here, like, they actually give you a motivation, right? Like, somebody's in hell, and obviously nobody wants anybody to be in hell.
Right. Would you say?
Well, in which case you choose the other option. Your soul's in hell, and you're trying to get out of it.
Would you say, on a scale of 1 to 10, would this be 10 out of 10, like the best they've released so far in terms of adventures?
It's the best high-level adventure they've released. Definitely. Adventure plus setting book, yeah. Like, I mean, Icewind Dale was really good too. When it comes to adventure and setting, Icewind Dale was really good. It's
like it's insane, just like how many resources alone. Like, this looks like you're getting a DMG type of release, but it's actually an adventure. Yeah. Like, you just get all this stuff.
It's almost 500 pages, I think.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's like it could be its own.
And it's $30.
Yeah. And also, one thing to note is that all the proceeds are going to Extra Life.
Yeah, it's a charity. It's entirely a charity thing.
Yeah. It's a charity thing. It's amazing, and
yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts, John?
No. All right.
Sorry.
Next week we're going to talk about Valdus. Valdus Spire's Secrets is a Kickstarter that just ended, and they're still shipping out copies as far as I understand, but I got my copy, so we're gonna review that.
Yeah.
And then what else are we reviewing next week? Oh yeah, it was the Glacial Ranger. So it's a ranger from our release last year at Christmas.
Yeah.
Right.
And do you want to announce what we are working on or no?
I mean, if you want to.
Okay.
We just finished it.
I mean, yeah, we're pretty much finished with it, so we might as well announce it. So, for those watching through to the podcast right now, we're going to be releasing a full book not
a magazine.
Yeah, a magazine. It's surprisingly small for how much we've jam-packed into it, but we
packed a lot of information into very few pages.
We have included the Warlord subclass, or the Warlord class, and a brand new class that we made, and then a whole bunch of subclasses, some from previous releasing, and some that are completely brand new.
There's
items, spells, feats,
items,
all of that good stuff. And it will all be available on the website hopefully within the next couple months.
Just finished we just finished it. As far as we finished the designing the monsters that we designed for it.
Yeah, the bestiary too. Yeah, we had that on. Just a lot of stuff in this book, and we're excited. We've been working on this for
a while,
probably the past year.
Yeah,
and finally coming to fruition. So I'm happy to announce that we are releasing a book.
Yeah,
and hopefully some more stuff in the near future too that we're excited to talk about. But until then, that's probably the end of this episode, unless you guys got anything else you guys want to talk about. I think that was it
for this one.
All right, well, thanks everyone for watching. It was a really short episode actually, but it's okay because
next one's going to be long, I think.
Yeah, the next one will make up for it.
I mean, Baldus is a pretty dense book.
Yeah, but thanks everyone again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.